2 years of marriage. My husband's first love got divorced and came back to America. That night, he didn't come home for the first time ever. When Maverick's mom once offered me $500,000 to leave him, I said no. Now I'm ready to counter. Offer $1 million and I'll sign those divorce papers. After all, her dream daughter-in-law is single again. I'm making space. She should be thrilled, right? 6 a.m., I knocked on my mother-in-law's bedroom door. 10 minutes later, the whole Sterling household was in chaos. 2 hours after that, Maverick received divorce papers with my signature already on them. That evening, I was dancing with a hot, younger guy at the club. When Maverick's people shut down the entire bar. Vivian, it's 6 in the morning. Shouldn't you be making breakfast? What kind of tantrum is this? My mother-in-law stood there furious. Curler still in staring at me in the doorway. And that skirt way too short. What will people think? Are you trying to embarrass the entire Sterling family? She pointed at my mini skirt. Absolutely livid. Maverick loved girls with long black hair. White dresses, that pure innocent look. His mom said being a Sterling wife meant following the rules. No showing shoulders or legs. Can't embarrass the family name. 2 years of marriage and I'd almost forgotten I, Vivian Carter, have these gorgeous long legs that deserve to see daylight. I waste them seeing my silence. Thinking I'd back down again. She started jabbing her finger at my nose. Right now, immediately go upstairs and change and get to the kitchen. We want a full American breakfast this morning. Hey, I lifted my hand, pushing her finger aside. Mrs. Sterling. Let's talk business. What did you just call me? She looked at me like I'd grown a second head. Vivian, have you lost your mind? Minutes later, I sat on the couch. Mrs. Sterling sat across from me. Still with messy curlers and that exhausted, sagging face, this usually elegant socialite had now lost her composure. For the third time. You want me to give you $1 million and then you'll divorce? Maverick. My sister-in-law. Harper also stared at me with contempt. Vivian, you're obsessed with my brother. You'd never actually leave him. I ignored her, speaking directly to Mrs. Sterling. He didn't come home last night. If I'm right, Celeste returned to the country yesterday. They were together all night long. Mrs. Sterling's face went through a rainbow of emotions. Harper suddenly squealed with delight. Oh, my God. Celeste is back. No wonder my brother was in such a good mood yesterday. Mrs. Sterling shot her a death glare. Burke quickly covered her mouth. After all, being unfaithful during marriage? Not a good look. You've always loved her. Now you can finally be mother and daughter. 1 million isn't unreasonable, right? I tapped the table, sliding the divorce agreement toward her. Just say yes and I won't take a single penny of marital assets. Mrs. Sterling grabbed the papers. Sure enough, black and white. It said I'd leave with nothing. Not $1. But she looked at me suspiciously. Not believing I'd give up so easily. Mom, what are you waiting for? This is amazing news. Say yes already. Harper kept pushing. She and Celeste were super close. Which meant she never liked me anyway. Whatever. Before I tolerated her because she was family. But soon we'll be strangers. I don't care anymore. 10 minutes later. I had the money. Then I went upstairs and grabbed my already packed suitcase. Coming back down. Basically the entire Sterling family was in the living room. Including my usually stern, serious father-in-law. He actually been decent to me. Never made things difficult. Even helped out my family when they needed it. So when leaving, I only said goodbye to him. Dad, this is the last time I'll call you that. Take care of yourself. Your leg problems get worse in winter. Have the staff make you more soup. I saw the gray-haired man sigh softly. Then he waved me over in front of everyone. He gave me a card. This is another $1 million. Not much, but take it. I thought. Lost the love. Lost the husband, but I've got $2 million. I could count those zeros all day. My real dad would need 20 years to earn this much. I didn't refuse. I took it graciously. Thank you, Dad. Shameless Harper muttered under her breath. I was in a better mood now. Didn't want to argue with her. I pocketed the card. I said goodbye to my father-in-law. And rolled my suitcase straight out the door. 2 hours later. My signed divorce papers were delivered to Maverick's office. By his secretary. Mr. Sterling. Your wife had this sent over. She said, to let her know once you've signed. Maverick was busy, didn't even look up. Put it aside. I don't have time right now. Mr. Sterling, I really think you should look at this first. The secretary's voice was quiet. Maverick was annoyed. But when he saw those huge black letters spelling out divorce agreement, his pen froze mid-signature. He picked up the thin stack of papers, slipped through them, his eyes landing on Vivian's signature at the bottom. But moments later, Maverick tossed the agreement back to his secretary. Call her. Tell her I'll be home at 8 tonight. But tonight, you're supposed to have that welcome dinner for Miss Celeste. Maverick's eyes narrowed. Make the call. The secretary didn't dare hesitate. Yes, sir. Too bad for him. I hadn't just blocked Maverick. I blocked everyone around him, too. Honestly, if his German Shepherd had social media, I would have blocked the dog, too. Mr. Sterling. Your wife seems to have blocked me. Maverick's face darkened further. He grabbed his phone and pressed Vivian's name. Poor guy. Didn't even know he was the first one. I blocked. Maverick put down his phone, pulled out a cigarette and lit it. You can go. He dismissed the secretary. After finishing his smoke, Maverick tried to refocus on work. But Harper called. Bro. You can finally separate from that desperate Vivian. And be with Celeste. Aren't you excited? Isn't this amazing? Harper explained clearly what's going on. What is Vivian up to now? Maverick stood up irritably, loosening his tie. He was gone one night. And this woman had escalated to this level. Didn't she? Think about what would happen if he actually signed those papers. What would she do then, bro? Vivian asked Mom for $1 million. Then agreed to divorce you. She already left. She was smart enough to only take her personal stuff. Didn't touch anything from the Sterling house, bro. I gotta tell Celeste the good news. Harper was chattering happily when suddenly the call disconnected. Maverick grabbed his suit jacket and headed for the door. Where is Vivian right now? He asked his secretary. Sorry. Mr. Sterling. We don't know. Sorry, Mr. Sterling. Your wife blocked all our numbers. Maverick felt rage rising. But he maintained his composure. Didn't she say to call her back after signing? The secretary glanced at Maverick's expression. Your wife said, once you sign. Just meet her Monday morning at 9 at City Hall. She promises she won't be late. Maverick stood there, his face growing darker. Finally, he removed his glasses and handed them to his assistant. Find out where my wife is. Notify me when you have information. Yes, Mr. Sterling. Prepare for the meeting. Maverick turned and went back to his office. Today's project was extremely important. Would determine the Sterling Corporation's trajectory for the next 5 years. He'd been working around the clock for days. Last night he pulled an all-nighter at the office to finish it. Vivian could throw her tantrum, but he couldn't play along. For Maverick, work always came first. Didn't care about the Sterling family drama. Didn't want to think about what Maverick was thinking either. Right now, I was in the apartment my dad bought me before marriage, hugging my teddy bear and crying my eyes out. Vivian, haven't you cried enough? My best friend, Arya, finally couldn't take it anymore, handing me a tissue. I took the tissue, wiped my tears and kept crying into my bear. I was divorced. I was only 25 years old. But I, Vivian Carter, was now a divorcee. My value had tainted. I'd probably get married again someday. But if I couldn't find someone richer than Maverick, every socialite in the city would laugh at me forever. Let's go out tonight and clear your head. My sister's bar just opened. I heard it's packed with the hottest guys in town. I hesitated for like 2 seconds and agreed. I hadn't worn a sexy dress in 2 years and 1 month. The day I met Maverick for our arranged date, my dad's people literally dragged me there. I was only 22. Maverick was almost 30. So obviously I wasn't into it. Sure enough, when we met, it was July and he was wearing a full suit and tie, looking like he just stepped out of a boardroom negotiation. And me, I had pink highlights. Wore a tube top and hot pants. My dad saw my pink hair and almost passed out. He tried to say nice things about me to Maverick, but couldn't even form complete sentences. Maverick didn't react much, though. He stood up and gentlemanly pulled out my chair. I didn't want to get married anyway. So I just did my thing, ate what I wanted, drink what I wanted, definitely not acting like a proper lady. He was the serious, no-nonsense type. I was young and loved having fun. So naturally, I figured nothing would happen. But I didn't expect Maverick to ask me out. Several more times. My dad was thrilled saying this marriage might actually work. But I wasn't interested in him at all. Then my dad said one sentence that changed everything. You don't like him? Well, your arch enemy, Whitney, is dying to marry him. She's already got people trying to set them up. I panicked immediately. Whitney liked him. Wanted to marry him. Then I absolutely had to steal him. I started dating Maverick. Originally, I planned to just rub it in Whitney's face. But a few months later, I fell headfirst into love. I fell for Maverick Sterling. He calmly took control of everything about me. He even transformed me into the person my dad had dreamed of making me. Long black hair, always wearing dresses because he liked it. I happily changed until later. I found photos on his computer of him and Celeste. From their college days. Turns out Maverick didn't love me with long black hair and white dresses. Turns out Maverick had his own cliché. White moonlight too. But back then I was so madly in love with him. I didn't even have the courage to confront him. Besides, before Maverick and I got married, Celeste had already married someone else. So honestly, I always felt lucky. But now Celeste was divorced. She came back thinking about Maverick being with her last night. Spending the entire night with her. I couldn't help crying again. Arya quickly dragged me to the closet. Pulled out this super tight little black dress and shoved it at me. Then mysteriously produced new lingerie. Wear this. Look how skinny you've gotten. You're practically flat-chested now. I clutched the clothes, sniffling at Arya. Isn't this inappropriate at my age? Shouldn't I be a little more modest? Arya looked ready to roll her eyes into another dimension. Vivian, you're 25 years old. A gorgeous 25-year-old woman. If you want to be modest, wait until you're 52. Okay, fine. Two 25-year-old gorgeous women. One in black, one in white. Both in strapless bodycon dresses and stilettos. Strutting into the club. At first I felt a little shy. I've been so proper and modest for 2 years. Suddenly being this hot and sexy felt uncomfortable. But after one drink, my mindset shifted. I'd already signed the divorce papers. Maverick probably couldn't wait to sign them, too. Monday we'd go to City Hall and we'd be completely done. When he suddenly agreed to that arranged marriage it was probably because Celeste getting married had hurt him. My lips trembled. I fought back tears. Let loose, even pulled my neckline down further. And dragged Arya onto the dance floor. With slightly unsteady steps. Dance floor was packed with people dancing together. Soon I found that wild, uninhibited feeling. A cute guy came over to hit on me. I looked him over, thought he was pretty hot. Weirdly, his eyes kind of looked like Maverick's. I grabbed his collar. His hand immediately wrapped around my waist. Like everyone else on the dance floor. We started dancing together. I wasn't used to being this close to a strange man. I instinctively moved to push his hand away. But suddenly the music stopped dead. The silence in the club was heavy, suffocating. It wasn't just the music stopping, it was the air being sucked out of the room. I didn't need to turn around to know who was standing there. The temperature dropped 10 degrees. The hand on my waist, the stranger's hand, trembled slightly before pulling away as if he'd been burned. Mr. Sterling, a bouncer's voice cracked near the entrance. We cleared the floor as requested. I slowly turned. Maverick stood at the edge of the dance floor. He was still in his work clothes, a charcoal three-piece suit that cost more than this entire building, the tie loosened, his eyes dark and dangerous. He looked like a predator who had just cornered a rabbit. But I wasn't a rabbit anymore. He didn't look at the crowd. He didn't look at Arya. His gaze was fixed on my hand, specifically the spot where the stranger had been touching me. Come here, Maverick said. His voice wasn't loud, but it carried. It was the voice he used in boardrooms to destroy competitors. I laughed. It was a dry, humorless sound. I'm busy, Mr. Sterling. The divorce agreement says we're separated. That means I'm single. Maverick walked onto the floor. The crowd parted like the Red Sea. He stopped inches from me, his height overwhelming in my heels. He smelled of tobacco and cold winter air. You signed a piece of paper, Vivian. You didn't unmake a marriage. His eyes raked over my body, lingering on the exposed skin of my chest and the hem of the mini dress. His jaw tightened. And you are wearing nothing. I'm wearing what I want. Something your mother would hate. Something you probably hate. I crossed my arms, accentuating the cleavage. Go home to Celeste. I heard she's free. That struck a nerve. He reached out, grabbing my wrist. His grip was iron. We are going home. Now. I have a home, I hissed, trying to wrench my arm free. And it's not with you. Arya, Maverick said without looking at her. Get her coat. Or I carry her out without it. Arya looked at me, terrified but loyal. I shook my head at her. Don't bother. I looked back at Maverick. If you drag me out of here, I will scream. I will make a scene that will be on the front page of every tabloid by morning. Sterling CEO assaults estranged wife. How's that for the family name? Maverick stared at me. For the first time in 2 years, he looked surprised. The obedient, white dress-wearing Vivian was gone. Fine, he said, his voice dropping to a lethal whisper. Walk. Or I burn this club to the ground with your sister's license inside it. I froze. He would do it. He was ruthless enough. You are a bastard, I whispered. I'm your husband. Part 2, the $2 million wife. The ride to the Sterling estate, because he refused to take me to my apartment, was silent. He locked the car doors. When we pulled into the driveway, the house was dark. It was 3 a.m. He dragged me into the foyer, the marble cold against my feet. Go upstairs, he commanded. No. I stood by the door, clutching my purse. Inside was the check for $2 million. I'm leaving. I only came here to get my suitcase that I left in the driveway. Your suitcase is in our room. The maids brought it back up. He loosened his tie, throwing it on the bench. What is this really about, Vivian? You want attention? You want me to apologize for working late? Working late? I stepped closer, poking him in the hard chest. You were with her. Celeste had a crisis. She has no one else in this country. She has a family. She has friends. She just wanted you. Stop being jealous. It's beneath you. He rubbed his temples, exhausted. And what is this nonsense about $1 million? My mother called me in hysterics saying you extorted her. I reached into my bag and pulled out the crumpled check from his mother, and the card from his father. I slapped them onto the antique console table. I didn't extort anyone. Your mother offered. I accepted. $1 million to leave you. Your dad threw in another $1 million as a severance package. Congratulations, Maverick. I'm the most expensive mistake you ever made. Maverick stared at the checks. His face went pale, then red. The vein in his forehead pulsed. You sold our marriage? For money? I sold my misery, I corrected him. I sold the right to be humiliated by your mother every day. I sold the right to wait up for a husband who prefers his ex-girlfriend. It was a bargain. He looked at me with genuine disgust. I thought you loved me. Turns out you're just like the gold diggers Harper warned me about. The words cut deep, bleeding out the last of my hope. If he could think that of me after 2 years of devotion, there really was nothing left. Think what you want, I said, my voice trembling. Just sign the papers. I'm staying in the guest room tonight because it's late. Tomorrow, I'm gone. I walked past him. He didn't stop me. But as I climbed the stairs, I heard the sound of glass shattering against the wall downstairs. Part 3, the empty chair. For the next week, I ghosted him. I stayed at my apartment. I changed my number. I started working at my friend's art gallery, something I had given up because Mrs. Sterling said, shop girls are common. I wore red. I wore short skirts. I cut my hair into a sharp, chic bob. Maverick, on the other hand, was living in hell. I heard about it from the grapevine. Apparently, the Sterling household was in chaos. Mrs. Sterling had tried to hire a new chef, but no one knew how to make his coffee right. The house felt empty. Monday came and went. He didn't show up at City Hall. Wednesday, he showed up at the gallery. I was hanging a painting, standing on a ladder. I felt eyes on me. You missed our appointment, I said without looking down. I was busy. Signing your name takes 3 seconds, Maverick. I climbed down. He looked tired. There were dark circles under his eyes. Celeste is throwing a welcome back party on Friday, he said abruptly. Have fun. You're coming with me. I laughed, wiping my hands on a rag. Why on earth would I do that? Because until the divorce is final, you are Mrs. Sterling. And rumors are affecting the stock price. People are saying I kicked you out. Tell them I left. Tell them your mom paid me off. He stepped closer, invading my personal space. My mother didn't pay you anything. I tore up the checks. I blinked. Excuse me? I froze the accounts. You can't cash them. You have no money, Vivian. You have this. He looked around the small gallery disdainfully, little job. How long will that last? Rage, hot and pure, flooded my veins. He was trying to starve me out. You think controlling my money controls me? It usually works. He adjusted his cuffs. Come to the party. Play the part. We'll discuss the terms of the divorce after. If I go, I said, eyes narrowing. I do it my way. No rules. No white dress. He hesitated, then nodded. Fine. Friday. 8 p.m. Be ready. Part 4, The Woman in Red. The Sterling Gala was the event of the season. Everyone was there. Harper, looking smug. Mrs. Sterling, looking like she'd swallowed a lemon. And Celeste. Celeste was beautiful, I had to admit. She wore a pale blue gown, looking fragile and ethereal, the perfect white moonlight. She was clinging to Maverick's arm when I arrived. I made my entrance alone. I wore a backless, crimson silk gown that clung to every curve like a second skin. My lips were painted a dark, vampy red. My new short hair highlighted my neck. The room went quiet. Maverick saw me. He actually stopped mid-sentence. His eyes darkened, pupils dilating. He disentangled his arm from Celeste's grip and walked toward me. "You're late," he said, his voice raspy. Fashionably, I smirked. "Vivian." Mrs. Sterling marched over, Harper in tow. "What are you wearing? You look like a streetwalker. And where is your wedding ring?" "In the pawn shop," I lied smoothly. "I needed cash since your son froze my accounts." Gasps rippled through the nearby crowd. Mrs. Sterling turned purple. "You ungrateful little." "Mom." Maverick's voice was a whip crack. "Stop." "But Maverick. Look at her." Harper chimed in. "Celeste is right there, crying because she feels so bad for causing trouble, and Vivian is just parading around." I said stop. Maverick stood beside me. He didn't touch me, but his presence was a shield. Then Celeste drifted over. Tears shimmered in her eyes. "Vivian, please don't be mad. Maverick and I are just old friends. I would never want to break up a home." It was a masterclass in manipulation. 2 years ago, I would have apologized. Break up a home? I smiled, swirling a glass of champagne I'd grabbed from a waiter. "Honey, you can't break what's already broken. You want him? Take him. He's house-trained, mostly, but he has a nasty habit of ignoring his wife for his mother." I raised my glass to Maverick. "He's all yours, Celeste. Just make sure you follow the dress code." I downed the champagne and turned to leave. "Vivian, wait." Maverick grabbed my hand. This time, there was desperation in his grip. "Let go, Maverick. The show is over." "No." He pulled me closer, ignoring the hundreds of watching eyes. "You want to know where I was that night? The night she came back?" "I don't care. I was at the hospital. She overdosed. Or she claimed to." I froze. "I didn't sleep with her," Maverick said, his voice intense, "only for me. I sat in a chair next to a hospital bed while she slept, answering emails. I didn't come home because I didn't want to worry you until I knew what was going on. I was trying to protect you from her drama." I looked up at him. "You think silence protects me? Your silence is what killed us, Maverick. Your family treating me like dirt, and you saying nothing? That killed us." "I know," he said. It was the first time I'd ever heard him admit a fault. "I see that now. This week, the house is quiet. It's too quiet. Too little, too late." I pulled my hand away. "I'm unfreezing the money," he said. "The 2 million. It's yours." "Good. I earned it." I walked out. This time, he let me go. But as I left, I saw him turn to Celeste, who was reaching for him. He stepped back, leaving her hand hanging in the air. Part 5, The Chase. The next month was a blur. With the 2 million, I opened my own boutique. It became an instant hit. I was busy, happy, and free. But Maverick Sterling was not a man who gave up easily. He started courting me. Not the way he did before, arranged dates and polite dinners. He courted me like a man possessed. He sent flowers. Not white roses, but wild, vibrant bouquets that filled my shop. He bought the building my shop was in and lowered the rent to $1. He showed up at the club where I danced, not to drag me out, but to sit in the VIP section and glare at any man who looked at me, while drinking scotch. One rainy Tuesday, I found him waiting outside my apartment. He was soaked. "What are you doing?" I asked, holding my umbrella over him. "My mother is moving to the guest house," he said. "Harper is being cut off financially until she gets a job." I stared at him. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I cleared the board. I made space." He looked at me, water dripping from his eyelashes. "You said you were making space for Celeste." "I'm making space for you. I don't want space in that house, Maverick. It's haunted by bad memories. Then I'll buy a new house. Anywhere you want." "Why?" I whispered. "Why now?" "Because," he took a step closer, I looked at the divorce papers. I looked at the signature. And I realized I couldn't sign it. I would rather lose the company than lose you. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. It wasn't my old wedding ring. It was a new one. A massive ruby, surrounded by black diamonds. Dark, intense, and unique. "Celeste is gone," he said. "I sent her back to Europe." I paid for her therapy, but I told her if she ever contacts me or my family again, I will ruin her. He got down on one knee in the rain. Maverick Sterling, who never bowed to anyone. I fell in love with the girl with pink hair, he admitted softly. And I turned her into a ghost. I want the girl back. I want the fire back. Vivian, will you date me? I'm not asking for marriage yet. Just, give me a chance to earn you. I looked at the man who had broken my heart, and then rebuilt himself to try and fix it. I didn't take the ring immediately. I'm expensive, Maverick, I said, a small smile playing on my lips. And I'm high maintenance. And I hate your mother. I know. He smiled, a rare, genuine smile that reached his eyes. I can afford you. I closed the umbrella, letting the rain soak us both. Pick me up at 8, I said. And don't wear a tie. I hate ties. Maverick stood up, pulling me into a kiss that tasted like rain and redemption. Yes, ma'am. We didn't fix everything that night. It took a year. It took therapy. It took him standing up to his family a dozen more times. But eventually, I did take that ring. And when we remarried, I didn't wear white. I wore a black dress, and I danced on the table at the reception, and Maverick Sterling stood right there beside me, holding my hand, finally looking at the woman he should have seen all along.